Well, a Cape Town-based artist is set to show off his collection of works titled State of Emergency in a first of two solo exhibitions in Johannesburg. The artworks deal with flashback memories of the artist's youth growing up in Pretoria in the midst of apartheid in the 70s and the 80s. It also explores the existential crisis of his adult life. Well, joining us now is award-winning artist Johan van der Schyff, who is in our Cape Town studios this morning. Johan, good morning, and thank you very much for your time this morning. Well, you're going to have a bit of a test run before you do the real thing later on, and that's planned for this week on Thursday. Is everything in place now for Thursday?
Hi Dan, thank you for the opportunity. Yes, everything is all systems go. Doing some last minute installation, but it will be ready for tomorrow evening.
For how long have you been working on this exhibition?
I've been working on it for the last 2 years.
Okay, now it goes, from what I understand, the state of emergency is dealing with flashback memories. How far back does it go to your youth?
Well, I was born in 1969, so I turned 50 this year. And it basically, on turning 50, it's obviously a milestone in one's life. And it was time for me to think back about my youth, where I grew up, and how that experience of growing up in Pretoria as a white Afrikaans guy molded me and made me who I am today. And anyone who grew up during those times, I'm sure, will be able to relate to the exhibition.
Now, the exhibition, I'm hearing, is about flashback memories. Do you really take people on a journey of your own life and how you saw the world in apartheid South Africa at the time when you were young?
Yes, to give you an idea, I work in various mediums. For this exhibition, I worked in bronze, I worked in wood, combinations of South African wood, as well as metal. So on the exhibition there are little bronze sculptures of the Casper armored personnel carriers one used to see on television that was driving through black townships at the time. The Ratel combat vehicles that were always driving up and down the highways around Pretoria. The Mirage aeroplanes that used to fly over us while we were playing rugby at school. Those things all appear in the exhibition, some of them in bronze, some of them in wood, and they're placed on stands that I've made out of metal.
And then do you showcase anything that's got to do with recent events post-94 as part of your storyline?
Yes, I think it's a good question, because a lot of people have asked me and said, well, this is old news. You know, it's now 25 years into democracy. Why even go back there? But I think it's very important to reflect on this 25 years, especially for me then also another 25 where I'm 50. If you look at international artists who's dealt with the history of their countries, specifically very problematic histories, one of my big heroes in the art world is a German artist called Anselm Kiefer. And then there's also a guy called George Baselitz. And both those artists, over the life of their careers, have dealt with Germany and the aftermath of the Second World War. So politics has always been a very important component in my work. And I think also the events that happened at UCT with the Fees Must Fall really affected me deeply. And so the state of emergency is both a reference to the actual 2 states of emergencies that were imposed in the 80s in South Africa, but metaphorically also a state of emergency in my own life.
Okay, so just thank you very much, Johan, for your time there. So you're going to have a preview show this Thursday, and it's at the Michaelis Gallery at UCT's Hidden Campus, and there'll be a special exhibition open by appointment only on Friday and Saturday, but then the bigger one will be opening in August.
Yeah, this is just, as we call it in the university, it's a dry run. So it's just to check if everything is working, where I should make slight changes to the show, to see the reaction of the audience. I'm expecting friends and family and students and colleagues and maybe collectors in Cape Town that can't make the Joburg show to come. And then the main show, which will have more work, it will be much more substantial, will be at Lismore and Associate Gallery in Park Town in Johannesburg. And as far as I can remember, that's opening on Thursday, the 29th of August. It's at the end of August, the last Thursday in August. And that will also be at 5:30 for 6. So everyone in Joburg, please come and support me. Thank you very much, Johan van der Schyff. Thanks for your time this morning, and good luck with your State of Emergency exhibition. I'm sure many art lovers want to see that collection that takes people back to the memories of growing up as a young white Afrikaner boy in Pretoria while watching these the Mirage aeroplanes and your Caspars driving to the townships at the time of a state of emergency. Okay, now